Yowzas. Might not recognize the place here. There's a yellow ball in the sky that actually decided to shine down on us today, or at least, well, actually it has been sunny most of the day. I was working in the shop. I'm tired of the shop. I'm tired of being inside. I'm tired of rain. I'm tired of crappy weather. So I'm gonna cause more aggravation for myself, and I'm going to fire up the drone, and I'm going to try to get some pics of my wheat field right beside our home farm here. I'm using an app, hopefully, if it all goes well, DroneDeploy. It's an app that lets you kind of mark out a field you want to scout, and it takes pictures for you, and then you can upload it. It stitches it all together, and you're able to kind of get an idea of what your field looks like. So I'm just trying to figure out what areas I might save, if I save any in this field. I was kind of hoping we could save at least half of it. So I'm just gonna get set up to do that, and hopefully it goes smoothly, but I'll try to keep you kind of updated through the process of getting everything set up, the drone and stuff, to take some of these pictures. So fingers crossed that it all works smoothly, and we can have some nice pics of my crappy wheat. This is the web page for DroneDeploy on the computer, where I can look at my imaging after it gets processed and stuff. But this is where I design my flight paths, and I'll show you that right now. So you can see here the outline I drew of the field, and then it also has the pattern it's going to fly the field in, with the start position over in this one corner. When you look over here on the left hand side at the top, it shows you that it will take 27 minutes, how many acres it's covering, and how many pictures it will take, and estimated batteries needed to do the flight. And you can go in here and change some other settings about height and other things like that. So it's pretty easy to use that way. If you go to automatic settings, it does all the stuff for you automatically. If you click over here, you can change some of the stuff where the start point starts, and also you can rotate the lines a little bit using this here. Anyways, that's kind of where I draw out my flight plan and go from there. So this is what I have done already, and it's been uploaded to my phone on the app for DroneDeploy that connects to the drone. I haven't really shown you any pictures of my drone, but it's a Maverick Air. That's a nice little small one, as you can see, and pretty simple. Just folds, legs fold out, arms fold out, little things go down, and then we gotta put the battery in. This is the battery that goes in here. This pops into place, and then you gotta take the screen protector off the camera, and this is pretty much ready to go. I'm just gonna get the controller set up, and it basically connects to my phone. I have 3 extra batteries. The map says it's going to take 2 to do, because I'm trying to do a pretty good resolution on it. So the controller is pretty simple. You'd actually just take your phone and kind of put it in the bottom in these holders here, and it kind of holds them in place, and it just does a connection through a little port here, and it has 3 different options for kind of the phones. Mine's a Samsung Galaxy S8, which has got the USB-C plug connector, but it has Apple connectors, and it also has kind of the mini HD, or sorry, mini whatever those other USB ones are. So
Just kind of getting everything together here. The only thing I don't like about this whole setup is trying to run the screen with this holder on. It's not freaking ideal. So I'll probably curse a little bit. I'm gonna work on getting everything set up here and then we'll go from there. So in a perfect world, I think I have everything connected. I'm just gonna fire up the drone here and see what happens. Oh, we got the drone connected. That's a good sign. Seems to be working, so we'll see what happens. This one is Wi-Fi connected, so it's going up to 300 feet and then it should start doing the mapping. So hopefully the wind isn't that bad and it's not whistling in my camera, but so far it seems to be working pretty good. It's starting to capture images here on the phone. It's kind of it there. Pardon me for the shadows, but you can kind of see like a bit of a live image there. So let's go along and capturing pictures and we'll see how it makes out. Hopefully we don't have a fail here, or as we would say, fail nation, but so far it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to. It's really hard to see much just because the wheat's not very big, but I think it should hopefully give us an idea of how good it is or how bad it is. So we'll see how long the battery life lasts on this and we'll go from there. So far it's still working pretty good. It's just slow. I don't know if I should have changed the speed of the drone. It's doing about 19 miles an hour going back and forth. We've captured like 130 pictures so far. We're at 70% battery life coming back down, so I'm not sure how we're going to make it. I do have 3 batteries, so I should be able to get through the whole flight, depending on how safe it is, which is good. Because when it gets low in battery, it'll probably try to come home. So there's probably a threshold there in terms of how far it's from home, what's been marked here at the truck, versus where it is and how many percent battery life it'll take to get back. So kind of the first crack at doing this, so we'll see how we make out. But feeling pretty good about it so far. So which probably means I just jinxed myself. I'm thinking that if I was really smart, I probably would have parked the truck kind of halfway across this farm so that when we do the battery change, it doesn't have to come as far back and lose a lot of battery life just trying to get back to where it needs to go to resume the flight. So probably just small things like that are going to be tricks I'll learn along the way. We tried to use this a couple times last year and the year before with our DJI Inspire drone. We really fought with it, and I don't know if it's just been it's a better app. The app's better on it, it's more stable, or some other things have changed with the updates. So it's kind of nice that it seems to be working pretty good here because, as I said, we subscribe to satellite services. But this is kind of more of a granular look at things, especially when the wheat isn't very big and it's hard to see much from a satellite imaging. I don't know if you can see it, the wheat, but it's kind of out there. It's not ideal. We have a saying, it's good from far, but far from good. So that beeping there is, I got to about 22% battery life. So I just called the drone to come back home. So I'm going to switch out the battery and hopefully be able to hit resume on the flight, and it will keep going and keep taking pictures. We'll see what happens, whether it wants to land on the truck roof or not. I'm not gonna lie, we got in the back of the truck, but I almost got a haircut. So just popping out the battery and putting another one in here. I'm gonna hit continue flight and see what happens. So it says it's connected again, so I'm gonna hit continue flight and see what happens. Okay, so it's just going through the safety stuff. She gone. Looks like it's going to start where it left off, which is cool because we had this problem a couple years ago where it wouldn't resume the flight, so that's really cool. The little window that I see kind of as the drone is flying down on the wheat, we'll have to see what it's like when I get it on my computer, but it's pretty hard to see much wheat, so I'm not sure what we'll get out of this, but if anything, it's a good trial run on what we want to do. Right behind me, where those trees are, there's a house. That's a farm that we just tiled this fall. So what I want to do, knowing that this is working fairly well for me, is on another day I want to do flights on that farm. Because you can see where all the tile runs went, and then we'll be able to have a kind of a aerial image of our tile line, so that when we have issues, or if we do have issues later on down the road in years to come, we'll have kind of a visual aerial record of where all the tile runs are. So as I said, if this kind of goes through successfully, then we'll try to do that on a nice day over there, maybe on the weekend if there's no rain and if the wind isn't too bad. The wind, these drones are pretty good with the wind, but they fight it and it really chews up battery life. So it's ideal to kind of do in a day that isn't horribly windy, and that way your battery is going to last a lot longer. Looking at the information I had there, I think from a flight time standpoint, we're going to have 15 minutes comfortably of capturing pictures and doing flights before we have to pull the drone back in. The nice part about it, I was able to hit come home button, and I can maybe grab it even though the battery isn't completely out. I can grab it where it's a little closer, especially along the road here, and then that way we're not chewing up battery life as if I were to press a button way at the back of the tree line, way at the back of the field there. So learning, but it seems to be going good, knock on wood. Just check some of the video that I shot just to make sure everything was working good on the camera. Sounds like there might be a little bit of interference just with the connection with the drone and the Wi-Fi and stuff, so my apologies for that kind of buzzing in the background. We'll see what I can do in editing on that, but if I can't edit it out, my apologies. So the drone's coming back right now. It finished the flight. We were pretty fortunate. We were just down to 30% battery life, so I'm going to attempt this landing again. Hopefully I can get it on video here, but we'll see what happens. As long as the hawk doesn't want to take out my drone. There it is right there. So cross our fingers that we can land this appropriately this time and not wreck it. We got her, a little too close for comfort, but we're getting there. I think next time I'll grab a piece of plywood and I'll do it on the ground, not out of the back of a truck here. So anyways, it worked. Now we take all the imaging and get it processed. So we'll go back to the office and do that.
So we're back at the DroneDeploy webpage, and basically we'll go back to the project of the wheat, and at the top center of the screen you'll see upload, and that's where you would upload all the images that you get off the drone. I believe there was like 530 plus images. So they get uploaded and they get all stitched together to get this map that you see here. You can't see a lot of wheat in the picture, which is the reason why I decided to fly this field in the first place, was to get an idea. And you can see due to water laying in some areas where you can see the residue pile up and some flooding that's happened in the field in different parts at the back here. So what we can do is I'll zoom out and you can look at plant health, and this is where you kind of get that idea around an NDVI map. So this is kind of using some of the tools they have. I don't have the good cameras to do some of the high quality NDVI work. We just use a standard camera on the drone, so it kind of extrapolates on the information using different I guess equations or algorithms. But you can kind of see an algorithm here where you can do an NDVI, which doesn't show you a lot here, but we can change the scale on the left hand side here to give you a better idea of stuff. So you can see the different areas, but I think based on its recommendation, we'll just look at this map here, and we just got to take the scale out, because I should have clipped out the chicken barn area here because the grass in here is throwing off some of the analysis. So next time I'll do something like that, I'll just clip these things out. But this gives you a rough idea what the kind of field looks like and how DroneDeploy works. I'll be doing this for some other fields. I mentioned that farm that we tiled right here, so I'll click on it, and I have a flight plan created for that one. So we'll try to fly it on the weekend here, but this is kind of just a quick look at what we do here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave some in the comments. I'll try to answer them for you.
It's Saturday morning. I'm just gonna spend more time in my shop because the weather's still garbage. We had that nice day where I flew the drone there, and hopefully you, I don't know, learned something, or that kept you interested. I figured it was a little different than all my other videos where I was working in the shop. I'm getting bored of it. Trying to keep things interesting, so I wanted to show you how I'm going to plan on using the drone this year, doing some crop scouting and other stuff. So hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, as I said, fire them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I'll do some more stuff with the drone in terms of when crops are a little bit bigger, and we can get some better imaging of the crops so we can see some comparisons of good spots and bad spots. And then I'll probably at the same time show you what my satellite imaging map looks like in terms of the quality of their maps versus what I can get from a drone. The maps are pretty good, to be honest, from the satellite, but as I said, with the drone you actually can get to a point where you can see your sprayer marks in the field and stuff like that. So I'll do that later on in the season when we got crops planted, or hopefully if we ever get crops planted. But as I said, hope you enjoyed that. We're going to be doing more with it. I'm going to work on my flying skills in terms of doing some videos around the beast back here. But with that, have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully the weather clears up. I know everyone around me is getting frustrated, but you know what? We can't control the weather. We can just work around it. So stay patient, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.